Hey YouTube fans, it's been a while since I've done a video, so I wanted to do a video for you guys today about microblading. I had my eyebrows microbladed back in January, and just wanted to tell you guys some of the things I wish I had known before I had done it. Not that I wouldn't do it again, but anytime I try something, I'd like to hear from others about their experience, and these are just a few of the things that I think are important for you to know. Even though I did do research, I hadn't heard any of these things. Anyway, to start out, I also want to mention too that I don't get paid for any of this. I just like to try products and share with you my results and give you the information that I know I'm looking for when I'm also doing these things. So the first thing I wanted to share with you guys is that I guess this is the same with tattooing, I'm not sure, but with microblading, when you have it done, if you have oily skin, your results are not going to be as good as someone who does not have oily skin. And I've always thought that my skin was combination. I wouldn't say that I'm extremely oily, but I'm oily enough that I shower every day. I'm not one of those people who can go several days without showering. But I'm also not oily enough where I'm like dabbing it off my face by the end of the day. So again, I would say I'm kind of combination, slightly oily, but oiliness can affect your results because when the technician places the color under your skin, if you have oil in your skin, it kind of can bring the color back to the surface, and so it doesn't really take or stay put. And then as your scabs heal and peel off, the color also goes with them. And and that did happen to me. In my case, I was born with very little brow hair. And if you have brows, then you probably don't understand. But when there is nothing splitting up your forehead space from your eyes to your forehead, it just doesn't seem right. Eyebrows are important. So microblading may seem silly to some of you that have eyebrows, but for those of us who don't, I thought this was a really awesome fix because I don't like to draw on eyebrows. It just feels weird. So anyway, so I had it done, and I'm a 90s chick, so I'm not into the huge brows yet. I went pretty conservative in the size and scope of them. But I do have some brow hair here, just a very little. But over here, none. No hair at all, like over on the sides. So that's where I wanted it the most. But actually, unfortunately for me, that is where it didn't take. So when I healed up and my scabs came off, I still had no hair or no tattoo here. Even after my touch-ups, I went back for a touch-up and I had them do that again, that area, and try and do it really deep. And the second time it worked a little better on this eye, but over here, again, there's nothing. I've drawn it in to fill it in here because it didn't really work right there. So I didn't even know that that was a possibility. I just thought that for sure it was going to look great, it's going to look perfect, and what I had read was that it will last up to 18 months. And in my case, it's only been 6 months, and I would say they're about 50% faded. So there's already big blank spots where there's no dye left. I was kind of afraid that it would last forever, you know, and you may want to change your brow style, but apparently you don't need to worry about that because at least for oily skin, it faded really quickly, more quickly than I would have hoped for. So it's just something to be aware of. If you have oily skin, you may not have the best results, and it's definitely not going to last as long as they say it would for someone who does not have oily skin. The second thing I would share is that they numb you ahead of time with a topical cream with lidocaine in it. And if you're somebody who has trouble getting numb at the dentist, which that is me, I have been known to not be able to get numb when I have dental work done, and so they give me quite a bit. And I had the same experience with the lidocaine, so I wasn't completely numb. I could feel it, although I feel like I have a high tolerance for pain, so it wasn't a huge deal. I just grinned and bore it and told them to just finish the job, even though I could feel what they were doing. But beware, if you don't get numb when you're at the dentist, you may not get numb with the lidocaine. And number 3, I was kind of surprised, and this may be a result of the oily skin as well, that the hair strokes, they didn't stay as crisp and clear and as I would have hoped. So when you see the pictures of the before and afters that these technicians are doing, it's like directly after, and the strokes look so perfect and clean and clear and crisp. But as the tattoo kind of settles in your skin, those become a little more muddled and a little more, I don't know how to say it, just, well, you can see. I'll get close. They're just not as defined as they once were. And that makes sense, you know, I think about regular tattoos that I've seen, and they can do the same thing. So just beware of that. And then last but not least, I noticed after my first time after healing, I was still penciling in spots because, like I said, it didn't take over here, and there was like a little spot over here where it just didn't take the dye. And so I was filling those spots in with a pencil, and when I did that, I could feel texture or scarring is what I think, you know, it's scars probably, from the cuts that were made, because you are cutting into your skin with a razor blade. And so that is something I never thought about and hadn't considered. But when I went back for my touch-up, I asked about that, and I asked, had they seen any issues with people who do this multiple times if they develop a lot of scarring. She said she hadn't seen it, but that obviously it's a possibility. And everybody's skin's different. I know I don't really scar easily, but my daughter does. She, just the slightest thing, she'll have a scar that's very visible. So I know your skin color can also either show scarring more easily than some others, but it's not really visible to the naked eye, the scarring, but I can definitely feel the texture. There's kind of a bumpiness where it healed, and with my, you know, like I said, I only notice it when I'm using my pencil to draw or kind of pencil them in. Anyway, I know those all sounded like negative things. Overall, I really have loved having them done, to be honest, and I'm sad to see that they're fading. I would do it again, I think. Had I paid $500 for this result, I think I would have been unhappy, because I don't think my results were worth $500 to me personally. Luckily, I did not pay that. I actually got them done for free, and I'll do a video about that and tell you how I was able to get them done for free. And if you're interested, I'll post that later. But yeah, I just wanted to share these things with you guys in case any of you are considering having this done. I think they're important things to take into consideration if you're considering microblading. So anyway.